Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Here is the teacher Batul Saeed coming up with the same topic, which is rational number, and our subtopic is operation on fraction. Students, as we have already done addition and subtraction of rational numbers, today I am going to explain you that how you are going to do multiplication and division of rational number. So in next slide, I'll show you a video where multiplication of fraction is done by a whole number. Just watch it very carefully and then I will explain it further.
Hi, so today we will learn multiplication of fractions. So in this particular video, we are going to learn multiplication of a fraction by a whole number. So let's first revise the concepts of multiplication in whole numbers. What is multiplication? Multiplication is multiple addition, isn't it? Yes. Suppose if we talk about 2 multiplied by 3, this actually means 2 times 3, which is 3 has to be added to itself 2 times. So if we add 3 2 times, we will get 6. And if we read table of 2 3 times, 2 3s are 6. Then also we get 6. And what do you mean by 3 multiplied by 4? This is called 3 times 4. That means 4 has to be added to itself 3 times, right? And this will give you 4 plus 4, 8, plus 4, 12. And 3 4s are 12, right? So actually while doing multiplication, you read out the tables, but the actual meaning of multiplication is multiple time addition. Multiple time addition of one particular number. So this was just the revision of multiplication when both the numbers are whole numbers. Now we will apply the same fundamentals, the same concepts in fractions also, right? So let's see how we do it. So now suppose you have a fraction which is 2 by 3 and you have to multiply it by 4. What is 2 by 3? If we want to represent this 2 by 3 in drawing, here I have taken a circle. Then I divide this circle in 3 equal parts like this, right? And 2 by 3 means we have to take 2 parts out of these 3 parts. So this was first part and this is the second part, right? Yes, and this is called 2 by 3. So this is the pictorial representation of 2 by 3. Now what we have to do? We have to multiply this 2 by 3 by 4. That means we have to add this 2 by 3 4 times, isn't it? Yes. So I am going to make 4 2 by 3s like this. So now we have 4 2 by 3s, isn't it? I have replicated the same picture 4 times. This means this multiplication. Multiply 2 by 3 by 4. So this was 1 2 by 3 and now I have replicated this 2 by 3 4 times. Why only 4 times? Because we were supposed to multiply this fraction by 4, right? And now if I count the shaded portion which are over here, how many shaded portions do we have? So here we have 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, 7 and 8 portions. We have 8 portions of the circle where each circle is divided into 3 equal parts, right? So this was the method in which we are adding 2 by 3 4 times, right? And what does it actually mean? See, we had a fraction 2 by 3 and when we were multiplying it by 4, we are actually multiplying this 4 only to the numerator, right? When we have to multiply a fraction by a whole number, we are actually multiplying the whole number only to the numerator of the fraction. See here, 4 to the 8, and keep the denominator as it is, right? So this was the multiplication of a fraction by a whole number, in which only the numerator of the fraction gets multiplied by the whole number, and then we get the result. And this was the pictorial explanation for the logic, right? And now, since this 8 by 3 is an improper fraction, this can be converted into mixed fraction, and we will get 3 to the 6 and 2 remainder, and 3 will be the denominator, which will be written as it is. So this will be the result in the form of mixed fraction. Otherwise, this is the result if you are allowed to write in improper fraction format.
Alrighty students, here I just want to explain it that in multiplication, this is the rule that you have to multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. But here is one thing which I need to explain, that whenever here is a multiplication sign in between two fractions or in between fraction or a whole number, always remember that you can always cancel the number like upward downward, or you can do cross cancellation as well if both the numbers are coming in same table, right? Here in this question, which is explained in video, no number is cancelled by another, as you know that 4 and 3 are not coming in same table, and 2 and 3 is not coming in same table, right? That is why numerator is multiplied by numerator here, and denominator will be written as it is. All right. Hopefully you all understand this video. Now, this is multiplication of a fraction by a whole number, right? Now, in next video, we are going to do multiplication of a mixed number by a fraction. Watch it carefully again, and then I will explain it further, okay?
In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to multiply a mixed number by a fraction. So let's start with this example. Let's say if we have 3 and 2/5 and we wish to multiply by 4 over 3. How can we do so? So what I'm going to do is convert the mixed number into an improper fraction. And so the denominator of the mixed number will stay the same. So I'm going to have a 5 here. And then I need to multiply 3 and 5, which will give me 15. And then I'm going to add 2 to it. 15 plus 2 is 17. So I'm multiplying 17 over 5 by 4 over 3. So I need to multiply across. 17.
See, students, here also in this example, also this 17 and 3 is not divisible by same table, as both are prime numbers. Here 4 and 5, which are in cross, written in cross, here 4 is a composite number, but 5 is a prime number, and they are not coming in same table, right? So it cannot be cancelled. And when we see upward downward, so same thing is applied over here also, that 17 and 5 both are prime number, they cannot come in same table, they are not coming in another table, and 4 and 3 is also not coming in same table, right? That is why here again we multiplied the numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. Let's see.
Times 4, that's going to be, well, 10 times 4 is 40, 7 times 4 is 28, 40 plus 28, that's going to give me 68. And then I need to multiply 5 times 3, which will give me 15. So this is my answer as an improper fraction, but I'm going to convert it back to a mixed number. And so let's use long division. 15 goes into 68 4 times. 15 times 4 is 60. And 68 minus 60 is 8. So 68 over 15 is going to be 4 and 8 over 15 as a mixed number. So this is the final answer for the problem. Now let's work on another example. So let's take the mixed number 5 and 2/3 and let's multiply it by 7 over 4. If you want to pause the video, feel free to go ahead and try it. So let's begin by converting the mixed number into an improper fraction. So we're going to multiply 5 times 3, and that's going to give us 15 plus 2. So that's going to be 17. So let's multiply 17 over 3 by 7 over 4. So what is 17 times 7? 10 times 7 is 70. 7 times 7 is 49. So 70 plus 49, that's going to be 119. And then we can multiply 3 and 4, which will give us 12. So now we got to convert this fraction back to a mixed number. And so let's use long division. Now 12 doesn't go into 11, so we need to see how many times 12 goes into 119. 12 times 8 is 96. 12 times 9 is 108. 12 times 10 is 120, which exceeds 119, so that's too much. So 12 goes into 119 9 times. 12 times 9 is 108. 119 minus 108, that's 11. So this is equal to 9 and 11 over 12. So this becomes the whole number, which you can see it here. And this is the remainder. And the denominator always stays the same when converting an improper fraction to a mixed number.
Alrighty, students, this is both are the examples of multiplication of a mixed number by a fraction. Hopefully you all understand by the video. Now in next slide, we are going to do multiplication of fractions, and in this you have to remember that you have to multiply numerator by numerator and by denominator by denominator. So I'm going to play the video for you. Here we have done multiplication of fraction by a whole number. All right, multiplication of a fraction by a mixed number, and now we are doing multiplication of a fraction by a fraction. Okay, so here we go.
So in this video, I want to go over multiplying fractions. And multiplying fractions, in my opinion, is easier than adding or subtracting fractions because you don't need a common denominator. Our bottom numbers do not need to be the same. You can always multiply fractions. And the only thing that you need to do is just multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. And I wrote that for you in green in the bottom left part of the screen. So let's just get started right away with this example. Here we have 4/5 multiplied by 2/3. So following our steps, we just need to multiply our numerators. In our numerator, we have a 4 and a 2. So I'm going to multiply our 4 and 2 together in our numerator. And in our denominators, we have a 5 and a 3. So in our denominator, I'm going to multiply the 5 and the 3 together. So in our numerator, we have 4 times 2, which is just 8. And in our denominator, we have 5 times 3, which is 15. And this is our final answer. So now I want to go over an example where we have a negative fraction. So let's say we have a negative 1/2 multiplied by 3/5. And the first thing I want to point out is where I can move the negative sign in front of the fraction. It's perfectly okay to move the negative sign into the numerator of the fraction or into the denominator of the fraction. It doesn't matter. But what I like to do is I just like to move that negative sign into the numerator. So now we can multiply these fractions right away. Once again, we multiply our numerators together. So in our numerator, we're going to multiply our -1 and our 3. And in our denominator, we're going to multiply our 2 and our 5. And this simplifies to -1 times 3 in our numerator, which is just -3. And 2 times 5 in our denominator, which is just 10.
Alrighty, students, this is the multiplication of a fraction by a fraction. It's as simple as you have already see the video watch the video that how you are going to multiply a fraction by a whole number, by a mixed number, and now by a fraction. So in next slide we are going to do division of fractions. Okay, so for that I'm also going to show you a video where we are dividing fractions, right? Just see the watch the video first and then we will discuss it.
So in this video, I want to go over dividing fractions. And it turns out that if you know how to multiply fractions, you actually know how to divide fractions as well. That's because dividing fractions is exactly the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. And if you don't know what that means, multiplying by the reciprocal is the same thing as flipping the second fraction and then multiplying. So let's just get started right away with this example. Here we have 3/5 divided by 2/3. So once again, dividing fractions is exactly the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. Once again, I just flipped the numerator and the denominator. And now these fractions can be multiplied quite easily. First, I'm going to multiply the numerators. 3 times 3 gives us a 9. And then in the denominator, we have 5 times 2, which is just 10. So let's just go over a couple more examples.
Again, students, I want to explain it further that what was the first step, that in division question when we have to divide two fractions, the first step would be that you have to change the sign of division with multiplication. And when you were doing it, that when you are writing, when you are changing the sign of division into multiplication, you have to write the fraction which is just right about the sign of division. You have to flip that, or you have to write its reciprocal. Like if it is 2/3, so you have to flip it and you have to write the reciprocal of it. You have to write 3/2 over here, right? The numerator, which is 2 over here, would be the denominator here, and the denominator with the division sign would be the numerator of the multiplication sign. So, all right, then again, you know, you already watched the video of multiplication. Now we have multiplication of fractions over here. So we have to multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator, and we got the answer. Firstly, you have to check whether the whether is there any cancellation, is there the number which are written in fraction in cross could be coming in same table or not, or upward or downward are coming in same table or not, right? If they're not coming in same table, then you have to multiply the numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. Let's see the some more example of it, please.
I'm going to write this example in a little different format. Let's say we have 1/2 all divided by -1/3. So this is exactly the same as 1/2 divided by -1/3. And once again, dividing is exactly the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So I'm going to take the 1/2 and I'm going to multiply it by the reciprocal of -1/3, which is just -3/1. Now I'm going to multiply these two fractions together. I'm going to multiply the two numerators. 1 times -3 is just -3, and 2 times 1 is just 2.
So this is the answer, which is -3/2, right? Now here in the next slide, I'm going to divide. I'm going to show you a video where dividing fraction by a whole number. Just before this, you already have seen that whenever it's -3, with the remaining number is -3, and you multiply the fraction by a whole number there also. So let's see the video, please.
Let's say we have 2/3 all divided by 5. And this is exactly the same as 2/3 divided by 5. And many of you might get confused when you divide by a whole number, but that whole number is actually a fraction as well. The 5 can also be written as 5/1. Anytime you divide by 1, it doesn't change anything. So now in order to divide these two fractions, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of 5 over 1. So the reciprocal of 5 over 1 is just 1 over 5. So now I can multiply the two numerators. 2 times 1 is just 2, and 3 times 5 is just 15. So now let's just go over one more example. So let's say we have 6 all divided by 3 over 2. This can also be written as 6 divided by 3 over 2. And once again, if you get confused by a whole number of 6, you can actually change it into a fraction. 6 is the same thing as 6 over 1. So now to divide these two fractions, we just have to multiply by the reciprocal. So 6 divided by 3 over 2 is the same thing as 6 over 1 multiplied by the reciprocal of 3 over 2, which is just 2 over 3. Now we can multiply these two fractions together. 6 times 2 in our numerator gives us a 12. And we have a 1 times 3 in our denominator, which just gives us 3. And of course, 12 over 3 can be reduced. Both numbers can be divided by 3 evenly. So I'm going to divide the 12 by 3. And whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. In our numerator, we have 12 over 3, which is just 4. And in our denominator, we have 3 divided by 3, which is just 1. And 4 over 1 is just 4.
Alrighty, students. Now here I'm going to show you an example. I have solved the example for you, which I'm going to give you as assignment. So here's an example. We have to evaluate this question by expressing our answer in its simplest form. So the question is, in bracket we have 4 upon 5 plus 1 upon 3 and bracket close, it's divided by 2 upon 3, right? Here we have two operations, right? The addition and division. We have already done addition and subtraction, and we know the rule that we have to solve the bracket first, right? So in bracket, we have two fractions where in between the sign is of addition, right? So for that, we know it very well that we have to make the denominator same. Until or unless the denominators are not same, we cannot add the fractions, right? So for that, I have to take the LCM of this 5 and 3. By taking the LCM of 5 and 3, hopefully you all know that how you're going to take the LCM of 5 and 3. We got 15, right? So I write 15 over here. And as you know that when the denominator change, the numerator will also be changed. So 5 times, how many times I have to read the table of 5 to get 15? It could be of 3. So 5 multiplied by 3, 15. So we have to multiply this 4 by 3 also. So we got 12 over here, right? And 3 multiplied by 5, 15. So I have to multiply the 5 by 3. So 1 by 5. So here I got 5. So the fractions which I got after this is 12 upon 15 plus 5 upon 15. And the whole bracket is divided by 2 upon 3. So the denominators are same now. We can add them. 12 plus 5, we have to add the numerator. So 12 plus 5 is 17 and 15 would be written as it is, right? And bracket would be removed and divide by 2 upon 3. As you have just watched the video of division, so you know that the first step would be change the sign of this division by the multiplication, all right? And the next fraction would be written as its reciprocal. So here we have 2 upon 3. While I'm putting multiplication sign over here, I have to write 3 upon 2, all right? Now I have to check whether is there any cross cancellation and is there any upward downward cancellation which I can do. So here I can do the cancellation. I can do the cancellation of this 3 and 15. You know, 3 into 1, 3 ones are 3 and 3 5s are 15. All right. As you all can see that here I got 17 upon 5 into 1 upon 2. Now both the fraction are there in simplest form and there is no cancellation which we can do further. So we have to multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. While multiplying numerator by numerator, 17 into 1 is 17 and 5 into 2 is 10. So we have got 17 upon 10. Now, as you all know that this is an improper fraction and we can always change the improper fraction into mixed number. In question it is written that you have to express your answer in its simplest form, so you have to change the this improper fraction into its mixed number. So 1 whole 7 upon 10 is 17 upon 10, right? Hopefully student, and this will be our answer. And hopefully you all understand the multiplication and division, whether it is by whole number, by fraction, or by mixed number. All right, students, now I'm going to give you a assignment which is just after this video. Hopefully you will do it, and if you face any problem while doing it, so watch the video again and your problem would be solved, inshallah. All right, so thank you. Allah Hafiz.